We've been saying Pokemon Pokopia might surprise people and end up being a big deal, but we did not expect these review scores to be what they are. Now, might be a bigger deal than anybody expected. What first began as a quirky, charming, cozy Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive that looked like it had a bit more going on than your typical Animal Crossing may now turn into something the Switch 2 has desperately needed: a system seller. And I know that sounds bold, but looking at these reviews that are remarkably strong, Pokemon Pokopia might just be on a lot more players' radars after today. On the morning of embargo lifting, Pokemon Pokopia is sitting at a mighty 88 on OpenCritic, with 92% of critics recommending the game. Truly a staggering feat for a number of reasons, one of which being it's now one of the best reviewed games of 2026, right next to Resident Evil Requiem. If that wasn't enough, an 88 also means that Pokemon Pokopia is tied as the best reviewed Pokemon game ever. Yes, it is reviewed more favorably than any of the Legends games, over Black and White, over Heart Gold and Soul Silver. An 88 brings Pokemon Pokopia on the same level as the other highest reviewed Pokemon game, Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. For a franchise that has had some pretty low lows in recent memory, coming in with an 88 off of the recent widely beloved reveal of Pokemon Generation 10 on Pokemon Day, Pokemon Pokopia might just mark a turning point for the series moving forward, and that could even extend to the reputation of the Nintendo Switch 2. This game very well could be the next true system seller for the Switch 2, right next to the other highest reviewed Switch 2 exclusive, Donkey Kong Bonanza. But don't take my word for it, let's hear what the critics have to say. Jordan Midler at VGC scored the game 5 out of 5 stars, saying, quote, "Pokemon Pokopia is an excellent life simulation game that takes the best bits from the champions of the genre and evolves into something that Pokemon fans and cozy game fans will love. Late game grinding doesn't dull an adventure that's as full of discovery at 100 hours as it was at 1, end quote. Kate Harold at Gaming Bible also gave the game top marks, a 10 out of 10, calling it, quote, "a welcomed change of pace for longtime fans of the franchise, whilst serving as an alternative for newcomers who don't favor the series' typical turn-based offering," end quote. So for existing Pokemon fans and non-fans who just love the genre, it seems like Koei Tecmo and Game Freak have managed to deliver a truly satisfying experience that anybody can hop into. Now, I know the world of Pokemon is oozing with charm, and surely that helps for a tried and true genre such as survival crafting, but is there really more going on here than Dragon Quest Builders cross Minecraft cross Viva Pinata with a Pokemon coat of paint? Rebecca Valentine over at IGN gave the game a 9 out of 10 and spoke to the charm, but also said that there's more going on here, saying Pokemon Pokopia finds success as a, quote, "personality-packed building simulator set in a surprisingly deep world that is stuffed with fun things for its delightful Ditto protagonist to do and create," end quote. Now, this review is not the only mention of a surprising amount of depth in store for Pokemon Pokopia on the morning of reviews dropping. The sentiment seems to be that there is actually a lot of surprises in store with Pokemon Pokopia, from both mechanical ones to just general discovery. And on a surface level, the story seems like it's deceptively simple. So it seems Pokemon Pokopia is much more than the sum of its parts, taking a lot of the greatest elements of the survival cozy crafting genre and injecting it with the personality and appeal of Pokemon. But that's not working for everybody. On the lower end, Stacey Henley over at The Gamer gave the game a 3 out of 5 stars, saying that while there is charm and very sound mechanics, it's, quote, Pokemon's take on a bunch of other villager games, and it's not quite as good at. So, who could have guessed it, but it seems Pokemon Pokopia has gone from a sleeper hit that might be bigger than you expect to a can't-miss potential system seller to kick off 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2. So have you been looking forward to Pokemon Pokopia? Like me, have you been looking forward to picking it up, or was it not on your radar before all of these stellar reviews dropped? Be sure to let us know what you think of the next major release for the Pokemon series, and for the latest on Pokemon, more on Pokemon Pokopia, and what's going on in the world of gaming, you can stay tuned right here and over on GameRant.com. For now, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.